As of me starting this, I'm just now remembering that these were supposed to be shorts. There is no intro for this. Actually, you want to see them really quick? I made the first two. First entry is propagandist news media's most beloved villain, Alex Jones. Everyone by now knows Alex Jones. Come on, he's most famously known for saying things such as
They turn the friggin' frogs gay!
coining the best phrase to tell any girl who faked their orgasm.
You're faking a fraud!
And most famously said that Sandy Hook shooting was also.
Faking a fraud!
The man is top tier entertainment whether you agree with him or not, but I'd like to leave you with a phrase that I know he would be proud of. You're not immune to propaganda. Second entry in the first tier is David Icke, a former football player turned author and conspiracy theorist, is known for popularizing the theory of shape-shifting lizard people running the governments. This in turn led to women saying things such as, "Your skin's soft," after booling with them scaly homies. He mentions that these reptilians be slithering from what's known as Draco Nomorphoid constellation. His biggest claim for this theory is that the world consists of vibrational energies that an interdimensional race of reptile beings, along with entities known as the Archons and the Anunnaki, have hijacked Earth and keep humans in a state of fear. In turn, this leads to them feeding off our negative energies in order to keep themselves alive. However, critics have accused him of being anti-Semitic, a Holocaust denier, and worst of all, British. I just made you watch YouTube shorts. How do you feel about that? How do you feel like when the spotlight's on you? Bob Lazar is the name most synonymous with Area 51. He was a supposed worker at Area 51's Site 4, otherwise known as S4. So dude claimed to have reverse engineered alien aircraft. Aliens from the Zeta Reticuli system have visited Earth and stated that there was an element 115 before it was put into the periodic table. Dude literally foreshadowed the events of COD Zombies. Those at Area 51 have hit him with the good old statement of proof, and they say that he never worked there. Meanwhile, Lazar's claims and his story have remained the same. Unlike my love life, Bob Lazar has remained consistent. But the most important thing about Bob Lazar, he was on the Joe Rogan podcast. Former military man, politician of the fictional state from Big Time Rush, Minnesota, actor and retired professional wrestler, Jesse the Body Ace Ventura makes the second tier of this iceberg. Ventura had his own show on True TV, very originally named Conspiracy Theory with Jesse Ventura. Here, they actively investigated your popular theories, HARP, Bilderberg Group, Area 51, 9/11, all those. Ventura has been vocal about questioning the truth of 9/11 and the US government as a whole. Ventura's show had a couple of controversies as well. He investigated the theory of FEMA camps and criticized the police state, and US Representative Stephen Cohen called for his show to be cancelled, and True TV had actually stopped production on one of his episodes, which he investigated the idea that TSA full body scanners are carcinogenic, meaning they cause cancer. Ventura's biggest controversy though is actually that he came out and said Chris Kyle, American Sniper, was, as his friend and frequent TV show guest Alex Jones would say, is a fake and fraud and a liar. Because of this, Ventura has been vilified. Milton William Cooper is one based motherfucker. Cooper was an American conspiracy theorist, author of the book Behold a Pale Horse, which warns of many global conspiracies, and most importantly, one of the inspirations for one Alex Jones. Cooper said some very outlandish stuff, mainly that HIV is a man-made disease used to target blacks, gays, and me. Cooper actually might be the origin of Dwight Eisenhower meeting with the aliens and coming up with a treaty to exchange humans for advanced tech. He might be, I'm not sure. His biggest claim is that these illegal aliens have either been controlling the human race or working alongside the Illuminati, being brought into the Earth by supposed alien investigation group, the Majestic 12. One of the weirdest things about Cooper is that he very well may have predicted 9/11. Like, not even joking, on a radio show, which I think it was his own radio show, he predicted that an attack on the US will be blamed on Osama bin Laden.
And I'm telling you, be prepared for a major attack. But it won't be Osama bin Laden. It will be those behind the New World Order who once again want to take the guns and the freedom away from the American people, because we're the only ones left in the world who can oppose the destruction of freedom in the world and then the implementation of a one-world totalitarian socialist government, and that is the goal. And whatever is going to happen that they're going to blame on Osama bin Laden, don't you even believe it.
Cooper got charged with tax evasion like everyone else and was named a major fugitive and got shot by the police. Although he shot first, then had been quoted in saying that he will not be taken alive, and that he believed he had been targeted by Mr. I did not have relations and the she-devil's husband Bill Clinton, as well as the IRS. Well, as the kids say today, rip bozo. Former pilot and conspiracy theorist John Lear has claimed that the US government has used these ugly-looking kids in the media to help humans get used to them, as they were going to get revealed to us. Lear is another one of the vouchers of the President Dwight I'll shove my foot up your ass Eisenhower meeting with the Space Brothers, the Grey Aliens, in the mid-1950s. Lear is actually described as a man who chokes under pressure, being described as a quote-unquote a divisive figure who claims often crumble under scrutiny, according to Wikipedia. So Lear is mostly known inside the UFO circles and areas for having influence on the topics such as Roswell, the Majestic 12, and the Grey Alien. Lear had apparently introduced journalist George Knapp to Bob Lazar, in turn turning Lazar's story public. Lear had apparently began collaborating with William Cooper before Cooper turned on Lear and then called him a Fed. Lastly, and most importantly, Lear made multiple appearances on the very factual Ancient Aliens. In 1995, a man known as Phil Schneider began telling the story of how he claimed to have survived the Dulce base catastrophe. Schneider claimed multiple things tied to other conspiracies. He claimed his father, an American-captured German U-boat commander, had been a part of the Philadelphia experiment, in which the US Navy is believed to have tested invisibility and teleportation on a submarine known as the USS Eldridge, and this resulted in some pretty nasty and fucked up shit. Secondly, he claimed to have been a part of constructing DUMBs, or deep underground military bases, across the US. The theories on DUMBs seems to vary, but it's widely regarded as underground bases for the elites to hide in when the world goes to shit. Schneider claimed to have survived an alien attack on humans in an underground base in New Mexico known as Dulce Base. The attack is said to have been human-provoked. Military squads were sent in to take down these aliens, but were completely wiped, unlike your ass. Schneider had passed away in '96, a year after he started talking about this, and although the general stories that he took his own life, followers of him seem to think that he was killed. Before Alex Jones, before Bill Cooper, there was a man named Jordan Maxwell who, if not for him, the door would not have opened for other names I had just mentioned on the iceberg itself. Maxwell was an author who researched and spoke out about religious and occult symbolisms and philosophies. Maxwell's mostly known for trying to expose the esoteric origins of Western religions and secret societies, hoping to reveal a hidden agenda in the world. George Edward Griffin, known as G. Edward Griffin, is an all-American American author, filmmaker, and conspiracy theorist. Griffin is an avid supporter of the 9/11 Truth Movement. Oswald was framed for clapping JFK, the Federal Reserve is evil, and the biblical Noah's Ark being in Turkey. Griffin is mostly known for three things: authoring The Creature from Jekyll Island, an interview with Yuri Bezmenov, the guy from the Black Ops Cold War trailer, and most of all, his comments on communism back in 1969 in a lecture named More Deadly Than War, in which he said,
"Total government is communism,"
and described the Marxist plan to take over the US. Oh, and also, most importantly, he's an HIV denier. And you thought Holocaust deniers were bad. When I tell you that the US government drove someone insane through misinformation, would you believe me? That man was Paul Benowitz, and let me tell you right now, that man was fucking targeted. A UFO conspiracy theorist, Benowitz claimed to have evidence of an alien colonization bases, which he called Dulce Base. He believed aliens were controlling humans through electromagnetic devices, and that cattle mutilations were caused by these aliens. So he took his story to others in the ufology community. I hope it's pronounced ufology, I have no fucking idea. And even told the Aerial Phenomena Research Organization, or APRO, in which they called him paranoid. That whole thing was hard to read. Aerial Phenomena Research Organization had actively called Benowitz paranoid. There you go. Ufologist Bill Moore and former U.S. Air Force Special Agent Richard Doughty were both said to have fed misinformation to Benowitz in order to drive him insane. Benowitz had actually gone to mental health facilities multiple times due to paranoia, and Benowitz had reported an increase on seeing alien visitations, seeing orbs outside his house, and had produced strange wounds. This led to paranoia, stress, and an all-around deteriorating mental health state. He's just like me, bro. I'm not gonna lie. It said that after years of stress, Benowitz took his headset off and uninstalled Life in 2003. You know, dude thought he saw some aliens, and the Air Force said, well, we're gonna make you think you saw some aliens. Serge Monast is the definition conspiracy theorist that the news media wants you to think that people who either believe in them or just like conspiracy theories are all like. Monast is mostly known for Project Bluebeam, which to me is the funniest theory ever made. Project Bluebeam is a plan by NASA to stage a holographic alien invasion, and that Jesus Christ, as well as the gods of other religions, will come back to fight against these aliens and merge into one singular god. That's fucking god tier, man. I don't know who can. That's funny, man. This, however, will be technology used to implement a new religion with the Antichrist as the head under the guise of these gods. So if you're an atheist, don't worry, this doesn't affect you. But if you're Christian, Catholic, Jewish, Muslim, anything else, LOL. Bill Kaysing was essentially the founder of the moon landing was faked theories. Kaysing argued that the US was incapable of putting a man on the moon. The lack of stars in the pictures proved to be a hoax. The death of Thomas Barron, a quality and safety inspector, was sus and indicative of a hoax, as well as noting that the Dutch also questioned the authenticity of the moon landing. Let it be known though, the Dutch never actually said anything about the moon landing. Kaysing also went on to say that the Apollo 1 fire and the Space Shuttle Challenger disaster were staged. That's right, Nazi Germany, NASA, deliberately killed their own astronauts because they were gonna get exposed and be on the next Keemstar video. So basically, if anyone hates NASA more than flat earthers, it's Bill. Jim Marrs was an American newspaper journalist and author who was one of the most prominent figures who alleged that the JFK assassination was a conspiracy. Marrs' book titled Crossfire is one of the main reasons for this, even used as a source for the 1991 film of JFK. Marrs not only alleged that JFK assassination was, a conspiracy, but also vouched for aliens, 9/11 truth movement, and telepathy being real. The book Alien Agenda that he wrote has actually been named as the world's best-selling UFO book. Marrs was actually a pretty big deal, actually, having appeared on ABC, NBC, CBS, CNN, and fucking C-SPAN, as well as The Alex Jones Show and Coast to Coast AM, and Larry King. Marrs, however, passed away at 73 years of age in 2017. Fritz Springmeier is an American author who is mainly known for his self-published books about the famous bloodlines of the Illuminati. These books claim that the famous bloodlines of the Illuminati are, the Rockefellers, the Kennedys, and the Rothschilds. One of those is not like the other. But these bloodlines are used by the Illuminati to entertain and distract the public with propaganda. You're not immune to propaganda. Springmeier has gone on to say, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, I deal with real facts, not theory. These bloodlines also dabble in the dark side of the force when long ago, quote-unquote, powerful kings discovered how to control others through torture, magic, war, and most of all, politics. Since Springmeier isn't actually interesting himself, I've gone out on a limb to make one of his theories viable ones. You should look at that. It's probably this way. Lastly, you can read Fritz Springmeier's Bloodlines of the Illuminati in the CIA's library. Like, you can deadass just kind of Google it. The CIA's library will kind of get pulled up, and the entire thing written in that book is right there. Anthony J. Hilder was an author, filmmaker, and talk show host who worked on multiple conspiracy-type films. Hilder worked on multiple documentaries along with Jordan Maxwell. Some include Lucifer 2000, Millennium 2000, which both essentially go over the alleged Illuminati or NWO plan for the US and how it's been planned. His film named, and I kid you not, this is the actual name for it, Illuminati 9/11, released in 2001, was one of the earliest types of films that asked the question of who actually caused 9/11. Hilder has most notably worked multiple times with Jordan Maxwell as well as Alex Jones and David Icke, also appearing on Jesse Ventura's show. I like how all of these guys are connecting. Troy McLaughlin, nothing much seems to be known about the final entry on the iceberg, but it's his book called The Saturn Death Cult that makes him shine. Not even gonna lie, the story of the Saturn Death Cult proposes the idea that human mythologies, including the Bible, are all inspired by real planetary events that happened oh so long ago. Many of the ideas are claimed in this book. Saturn was once acting as a source of energy for Earth instead of the sun. Saturn was seen as a god and humans made sacrifices to it. The Illuminati have known about this and since have actively made multiple sacrifices to Saturn throughout all of time, through money, drugs, oil, and war. Most importantly, it says that the Illuminati have been around since BC time, and that they have been involved in the rise of Babylon, Rome, and the US. The Saturn Death Cult, created by Troy McLaughlin, might be one of the biggest and most swept under the radar conspiracy theories ever, genuinely. That marks the end of the Conspiracy Theories Iceberg, and if you see this or have seen the other videos, thank you. Damn, this is such a mess to make. Bye, my computer is dying. Bye.